Welcome back everyone to Alchemy Factory, and we're going to start off the episode today on the report for the final day, just while I'm doing some base tidy up. Okay, just having a look at the day report for day 105 to start off the episode. So we're selling a good amount of growth potions, 85 growth potions. I'm currently trying to build a machine to do 60 a minute, well more than what we need to sell, because we are going to need a good build, one, because we're going to need fertilizer, and two, eventually these are going to have to go into the next relic. So let's have a look at our money. So 843,000 we earned, and we spent out 540,000. So still making a good amount of money. Didn't sell any diamonds on this day. Getting a good amount of contracts, but nowhere near what we can actually push out. So I had to fix an issue with the belting on the back of these, where the left-hand side wasn't actually working. But this is what we built in the last episode. We have 24 lines of sand, 21 down the side here. We've managed to fit up nicely against the wall. A little bit of room around there to get around the back. We've got a money belt on the second floor going all the way around. At the moment, as you can expect, we moved our money up to 10 stacks, which is probably not the best idea, because each one of these belts behind here, and each one has maybe 20 to 30 belts. That's 200 to 300,000 tied up in every single one of these machines. So that wasn't a great idea, which I did. So I am going to cut it down up here. I did talk about doing this little alteration in the last episode. Otherwise, I'm never going to get any of these machines running. And I want to get them all the way down, just so I can move on with the next step. So to fix it is we're going to put a bank portal on. And we're going to tell the money to come into the bank portal, leave the bank portal, and we're going to tell it just to put 1 stack of silver. Now, without me taking up every single one of them builds, I can't take all the money off. So our belts are running a bit on the low side at the moment everywhere. Let's have a look at the quest. Maybe we can make some money from the quest, which is going to help us out. So it needs some salt and it needs some vitality potions. It's only 39,000, but that's going to be 39 stacks up on the top. It's going to help us out. Now, I will want to change the build, so everything that comes out the other side is then going to get converted back up. I think I need to go back up to 5 on here, not 10s. Because we've got a lot of expensive builds. I just don't think we've got the money floating around for 10s at the moment. So if I change them to, I need to change this. Got one more over the back here, which is the gloom spores. This one is. And then we'll change the last one over here as well, which is this one here, which is the pocket watches. And you're currently chucking it straight up onto the belt. Let me go and fix the top, just so no money gets through. So we've changed this one over here for 5s. Okay, we are getting some money up here. And before it goes back downstairs, we want to change it back. Back to 5s. But just upstairs, we'll just have stacks of 1s at the moment. Yeah, put a bank portal on this side. And we just do the same as what we did on the last side. Connect the belt up here. Connect the belt up here. Wrong way. From the thing across. And then we'll change you up to 5 stacks of silver. Just make sure I set the silver on the other one. Yep, it's got silver coins on there. So if I have a look on the belt down here, yeah, them all stacks of silver now. That's going to allow all these machines to come alive. Because we do need to deal with the sand. But the biggest issue we've got at the moment is the second part of clay is charcoal powder. So I need 12 lines of charcoal powder. We did work out at the end of the last episode, if I was to put a coke plant here, then it should be able to have enough to provide all the charcoal plants. And I do want to try and cram all 12 into this space here. So let's get that quest done first. Okay, we've got all the items for that. It's going to be a while before we get to Blast Potion, so I can't really worry about that main quest. Wish there was a tab just to remove it off the HUD, but unfortunately there isn't. And then that 39,000 we'll just chuck into the system. That just needs another polished crystal, and the other one is probably on a different timer. So you're very close to making a diamond. You're up to polished crystals, and the others are up to crude. Now I do have a lot of money if I want to. Over here, crude shards. I could easily turn these into diamonds a lot faster than I can do from the other machines from sand. If I'm desperate for money, I'm thinking about doing that. Now, I would only need 7 crushers to do that up. Don't think I've got any more over here. I have got some shattered and dull and polished. Do I want to do that? I've got a lot of space here where I could easily set one down. I think I do want to. I just need to get my belts a lot more better than they are. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm pretty certain it's 7. But what I'm going to do is a machine, a box, a machine, a box. And then we can see what it comes into to broken shards. And then if I've got anything, I can just plug it in at different stages. So like all these over here, these partial ones, I can make some money out of these. Not going to be efficient, but it's going to get me some money. So you're doing it into dull, so this box should be dull. And then the dull shards coming in to shattered. I have got a shattered there. So this box should have completed shattered. And I have got a winding build going all the way up on this, but this is just a temporary measure. Just to get me a bit of money. So crude will be in this one. Waiting for the second crude to come through, and then this will start up. So crude in that box. This is going to be up to polished in this box. So the next machine can go on. And we will take this down after the crude shards have been done. That takes it up to an adamant. And then from the adamant, it's only one stage away from a diamond. Yeah, the adamant's in there. We'll be making some diamonds pretty soon out of this build. And there's a lot of stuff in there to go. And if I really want to, I could just put a cannon just to throw it in. Just so I haven't got to automate this. Let's grab a cannon. I am out of steel. Okay. Been a while since I've been out of steel. We did keep some in this box as an emergency. Just because we upgraded all the gears and nails and everything. Nails is looking pretty good now. Gears are not. So the gears are probably what's slowing this relic down now. Yeah, gears are slowing it down now. But we did put an extra 2 or 3 machines on here on a couple episodes ago. So we don't need that anymore, do we? No, because we did that one down here. Copy you. Anywhere? No, let's go from the menu. Okay, there's the upper. we can just put the hopper there and say this cannon, shoot all the crude shards into this box. And then it's just going to process it down. So already I've got a diamond. That's going to get me some money from stuff I had just sitting around doing nothing. And there's already a diamond on the shelf as well. Okay, let's go back upstairs and see how these machines are doing now. Much better, about halfway down. So let's have a work on the coke powder one. Now, did we have a build and can we improve that build to make it even better? We just need a bunch of nails, but the nails have caught up now by the looks of it. All 600. So we'll just drop the coke powder out here. Still don't know what the difference between these two builds are. That's got 6 portals on, so I'm going to delete that. We'll just use this one. It's only got 3 portals. It seems like the right one. So 3 portals, 20 stone coming in. I don't think I can turn that much efficient than it is. Okay, I've got some coal. Just to put into here. And then I'm going to need to put some coke powder into these, just so I can get the numbers. So coal's coming out now. Goes into the machine, which is 10 a minute. And then it goes into these, which is 5 a minute. Now, it would need to go through this, and then I could send it down and back underneath itself. So let's do that. Let's copy you. And because it's doing 10 a minute, I would need all 6. So if we get 2 advanced grinders... Actually, we would need 3 advanced grinders. So if we put 3 advanced grinders onto the floor... like that. Put you on top. That should work a lot better than I'm using at the moment, and it's going to be a much smaller build. We need you to be going into the thing, and just need it the right direction so I can see what's going on. Yep, that's blue. And I want you to be blue at the top. So on this build here, the coal will come in the back here. Get the crucible as normal. Come down, come in here, and then we've got a line of coal out here. Does mean this is a lot higher than normally. I have it on the 2nd tier. But I think that could work. And then we could copy you. Build the next one right next to it. Put a belting system down here. So it's exactly the same as that. And then all this extra stuff over here I don't need, because it's all being dealt with this. We just need the fuel feed on this side. And then where we're going to be sending this back onto the belt, because this is going to be the coke. Is that correct? Yes, because it's going to be coming out as coke powder. And we'd have a bunch of stands across here. Now, the coke powder would have to fuel itself. Yes, it would have to fuel itself, and it would have to fuel all the charcoals as well. So let me just quickly change this. Because it's better having the belt out the opposite way. So belt from here coming to the end, then lifting up, going back on itself. Take it from the bottom belt, and then it would have to miss a space and come up one more just so it can feed the machines. That's a much better system. And we could just go straight into a double stand. And then all we've got to do is connect this onto it then. Because I don't think there's any better way of doing this, even with the stands I've got access to now. But that's a lot smaller build than that. And I do like it. So let's have a look and see if I can do anything better with you. I don't think the stands will go over you. I think I've already tested this, yeah. It's just too high. I could put one on this side here and one on this side, but then it doesn't solve the purpose. Because you're coming out onto a line there, even having a stand coming up and a steel one coming over the whole lot, I don't think I can improve the way I've got this. Now, we had another good day on the growth potions up here, and we sold 2 diamonds as well. That's very nice. One of those is the ones I put in. There's probably some diamonds in a tub downstairs. I need to check. Not certain why only 1 relic sold. 994,000 and 569,000. I think that's just got to stop as it is. We might be able to thread in how it comes onto this a little better than this. So let's, yeah. Unfortunately, none of the stuff we got access to now has improved going over the stone. And if my maths worked out correctly in the last episode, so we need all these to become combined. So they are all combining onto that. But then we'd have to bring it from there up to here, because that's where I want it to connect to. So is there any better way I can bring it down to make that happen? Well, we don't need all these extra belts on the side unless I'm going to be actually using them. Streamline the top. Because at the moment, everything's going to be a bit resource heavy on the builds. And if I want to build up to the ceiling later to make it look nice, we can do it at a later date. Now, I could bring you down here, bring the top one down here, and then have this belt like that. That will come out in roughly the right place. This is 5 wide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wide. I think that could work to get up to this level. So we'd want to bring this side from the top to join the bottom belt. Let's just rotate it round. Now I can see it's blue, so I know that's connected. We'll get you to join the middle from the second tier. And then this one here needs to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5, I think it is. And this will be taking it from, not joining. Maybe there. Let's see if that works. Much tidier build. And perfect. Cut out all the extra gaps we don't need. All the lines are combined onto a 60, which is on here. Goes down underneath, back onto here. And then this theoretically, it would have been nice to have these as stands. Because what I could have done is just thread this belt through the leg straight onto the line down here. We need to take this leg out here. So we need to be coming from the third here down to the second. But I could bring it down to the second here. And it's only this one side that has to be done. I could have it up as the third tier because I want to have these built so I can connect them to the line nice and easy. And we want to be taking it from the second tier. But these plug into the line a lot better. Yeah, we're taking fuel and bringing it up onto this line. And then this line will then be plugging into this. So it is the wrong way. Because this is providing to the line, not taking off the line. So that's the wrong way. Because this is going to be the start of a chain, not the end of the chain. Yeah, that's where it goes to push it onto the line. And this line here is going to be missing one, so I just need 2 of those. That will connect up to these, and then we'll change. We have to have the belt across the bottom. So that goes into there, and then we just got to rebuild. Then we should be able to just plug this onto the end. And it should just connect perfectly. Yeah, I can see everything's blue. So that is our new charcoal onto the belt. Now we might need to change this line going forward or backwards depending on what its use. But that's enough to get all the charcoal into the machine, into each of these furnaces, and then go back onto the line with everything that's not being used. So that one is going to get plugged in somewhere about here. I think we'll leave about 3 or 4 spaces so I can do something with the output, but I've got a feeling I'm going to be throwing all these with cannons. At least the majority of them. But let's get some fuel on the line. It will be buying coal. So I do want to actually blueprint this, so I've got it for another build. Now, technically, I've got the grinder there. Otherwise, I would have said I'd move this in one. It would save some space. But yeah, that's not going to save anything. So yeah, happy with that build. And let's see if it would allow me to name the blueprints, because the last time I tried it didn't. So this is going to be coke powder. I'd want it to be red because it's to do with fire. We'll call it 60 a minute, but it's probably only going to be about 55, something like that, because it's feeding itself. And we've got that one saved now. So let's just put this into place. I do have to fix that one belt, so I do need somewhere I can get to it. So I said up to the line. Overlapping, so I need to come out one more. And then I have to fix that one belt in the center. And then this is going to be the start of our fuel line. Press the wrong controls. Just for now, I'm only going to take it 2 tiles because I don't know. This is probably going to end up going all the way around the place. But I am considering still getting the charcoal in this area. And that will start purchasing as soon as some money comes around this way. But I do have 6,000 on me, so I could just go up to every one of the portals and just say, need to set it. Set it to coal ore. And I could just say, go and purchase one. Which is G. So that will start running at some point. Once it's purchased a few of the coal ores, I can just start some coal there. So let's get rid of these. Actually, just get rid of that like that. Get rid of some of the stuff out of my inventory. And then we should start seeing coke powder coming out the bottom. Yeah, I do like this design. And I'll see if I can do something to improve the charcoal one. Now, the charcoal one is going to be 2 lines of wood. Is going to be 2. Now, we do know we can get a 10 stack because we've done that with mushrooms. All I've got to do... Well, I need 12 in total. So I could do like 2 of these next to each other. That's going to be 1 line, 2 lines, 3 lines. And then do that 4 times. So that's probably where I'm going to be going with the wood side of things. Just going to shove the coke into there. Just to get rid of it out of my inventory. And once that's burnt up, I'll move the charcoal over so it gets used. Yep, nice 60 a minute. I won't put the wall in quite yet. Just until I know what I'm doing with the fuel. So we need to find a charcoal build. Have I got one saved? I think the 5 stack is probably the easiest one to go with. Just need some portals. Go and have a check on the quest while we're going past. Okay, it's a random quest. It needs a Mars. It needs some pulleys. For 369,000. We should have another Mars ready. Okay, you're nearly ready. It's because it's been struggling with the gears because I've been using so many of them in my builds. But I have got one in a box. Let's see how this is doing. 3 of them can go into experience. And then when we get the Mars fully into the system, then I don't need to use them anymore. We will use the Mars for experience, and then these Saturns will just all go into the shop. Okay, let's go and turn that quest in. Nice amount of money, and that's what we've been struggling with because I'm spending so much out at the moment. As soon as I've got everything upstairs loaded, then I will go back upstairs to doing 5 stacks the same as everywhere else. Now, if I wanted to, I could have the rotten logs in here, but I don't need it. Now, one thing I do have to make sure is every 2 lines of these is going to be a full line. So I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 full lines out of here to go into 6 charcoal machines. And that's just to match up with the sand to make the clay. So let's get these portals. Okay, cancelled all the portals because they were set up wrong. So all we need to do is get 2 lines of these. Getting these 2 together down is probably going to be the easiest way. And then I'll need to combine these 2. Is there any other way I can make this easier? Not really. We could also have a stand to bring the stuff down on. Just so it's easy getting the lines out. No, I'll bring it down as it is. So a single one there. You can just come down this side. No, we'll bring it down this side. Yeah, join it. And dealing with the portals is probably going to be the easiest because I can just snake that up and down. So one line there. Okay, end of day. Okay, not a bad day in the shop. About 300,000 in the shop. 1,191,000. You got 1 diamond out of it. And expenditures are going to be very high until we can get all these machines filled up. But 597,000 as expenditure. We're still making double that. So yeah, 2 there. That covers these 2. Just need a couple of stands up. Could do that for everything like that. We'll just plan it like that for the moment. But I could just bring it out the centre. It doesn't really matter. But that is going to be the first line done. It'd be just easier to use the 3 beams all the way across. I think that's what I'm going to do. Let's keep it on the tier the other one is, like that. Go down 1. And I can bring it down to this height. It doesn't have to be all the way up at the top. Let's have a look at that 3 beam. Doesn't look terrible. That's an easy way of copying it. Like I said, this one could come out in the centre. I haven't decided exactly where. I need to go up a couple of more. Because it's easier to have this out on the same tier. And let's just join up the machines. Perfect. We've got an output here, output here, output here, and the ones on the bottom. But that's only 6 lines. We need 12, don't we? So I have to do 2 of these machines. But let's figure out how... I think we built a new charcoal one downstairs I was quite happy with. This one here. Okay, I've got a copy of the last charcoal build I built. Trying to see if I can get it on, but this needs 6. So I would have to have a line at the front, a line at the back. Each one of these charcoals will match up with one of these. Okay. Figure out how we're going to do this. So it's got the 2 underneath. That's fine. We might need to change the belting. Because I think I had to change this because it was fueling itself. So let's just get rid of all the belts. So, what was this? The output or the input? This is the input coming into the crucibles. The output would then go straight into these. So you, and you. That brings out the charcoal this side. That's what we've got to deal with. Don't know if it needs to go left or right at the moment. We just need wood to come in here. And it is a really narrow build. Could I get 2 of them on top of each other? Well, we do have stackable crucibles. I never use them. I'm pretty certain we've got the stackable crucibles now. We have. That opens up options. Because instead of... How long are these? It takes up the full bed. That's not necessarily bad. because we've got to have a output down here anyway. But what I'm thinking of doing is getting all the wood. The problem would be the 4 outputs. I would need to have them different to how I've got this. Because I could just have one bed with a load of these on top, all stacked up, and have all the wood fed into one machine. What do these use compared to the others? 6p's a second versus 4p's a second is the other ones. So it would take up more fuel, but I wouldn't need as many fires. Does it do the same amount? I think it does. But I just need to be seen to be 100% on it. But yeah, I could just stack these on top of each other like that. And I could have each line coming in the side. And I would only need a double base. Because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines. I would have to thread 2 of the things into these 4. We could stack it up 6i. Would have to belt it out slightly. I just need to see, are they doing the same amounts? Pretty certain they do, but let me just get that confirmed. Is it planks? Yeah, I think it's planks with this one. And also, let's just put some heat underneath it. I don't know if you need both of them active, so let's just do that for the moment. So this is doing 15 a minute, so it's exactly the same. Just takes up more space. But I could thread 6 of these lines into each of these tiers. Have an whole stack of 4, but that would be really hard to do. We could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, you would only need 4, so we could just do 6 rows of 4. That'll be the easiest way of dealing with it. Let's see if we can get this to work. Does mean that this sort of system is not going to work for threading it out. I still think we've got enough fuel consumption for me to change. It does mean the grinders underneath might need to change. I might need to put like 4 levels. Move this up. Put all the grinders underneath the way I've got it. And then thread down each belt separately. Going to be a bit of a tricky one to do, but I'm pretty certain I could do that. I mean, if I can combine all this onto one, I'd be well and truly happy. So we'd want the outputs to really come this side. So I was thinking of going up 6. But I don't know if I can do that. Well, 6 would be 36p's plus the one underneath. And then we'd have a new furnace for every single line. I mean, the easiest way to do this would be 6 lines of 4. We could have the 30 of this and the 30 of this combined in the centre. Would make getting the stuff in and out easy. Bring you down. Still not convinced on this is going to work. It's nice having them underneath like that. But in this instance, it's not going to help. So let's cut you. Let's put you on the floor like that. Now, we would have to get the fuel in and out at the bottom. So I need that like that. So you would be plugging on to this line here. We could just have a belt up the side or off at any point. Got worried then. So I'm thinking leave about 4 spaces. So I would want to get each one of these lines into here. We'd have to skip 3 at the bottom. I could also skip the 3 at the bottom to bring the fuel in. I don't think the way I've got this is going to work. I could easily get the lines up to here. So you would then just come up to the top. Just giving myself some reference. So the first line coming up is easy. Bring it onto this spot and then go that way, and then coming out. We could just put the grinders on the end of every one of these. And then we'll have to split it into 6 lines on this side. I don't think it's going to be as bad as it looks. We'll bring you up at this point. And the lines don't actually have to go the same way. We could have one going left to right and one going right to left, which would be easier to thread up. Okay, just having a look for the day 108 report for the shop. What do we do in the shop? 456, 7, 830, 840,000. And we're still trying to buy for the upstairs, so I expect the expenditure to be fairly high. Actually, that's not as bad as I thought. 540,000. 550,000 roughly. Selling about 83 growth potions, so we should be full up on the growth potions. Still think I need to change the way I've got these, especially the top part. Don't think it's helping me the way I've got it. Because there would be a belt coming across from here to 4 slots like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. That would be right. That will match onto this. Let's get rid of this top stuff off of here. Just for now, we just got to deal with the center belts. So just for now, you're coming out this way up to here. We would want a smaller version coming across like that. The next one I could thread up from here. Maybe deal with you next would be the better option. So you would have to come up at this point. Take it from the belt there and bring it up to here. And then we just got to thread that belt slightly different. You can just come back out as the standard one. So we do need to get second tier down, and same with this. So join the bottom belt. Can't see the height from up here, so I'm going to have to come down to the level. So from there. So then we just got to deal with 4 more lines after this. So you're coming down to the bottom. We need to stand up in the middle. double height, just so I can plug you in. We'd probably need a stand down here as well. And let's go for a double height one, just so we've protected that, and then do 2 small. So that part's covered. Second part would have to come down here. Up to the same height, and we just need to swing it round, and then we'll repeat the same as what we just did. So double height into the space there. Then let's get that belt in. Why won't you go in? Try that belt again. Join in the bottom. Coming up to there. So 2 of the lines are planned in. That's fairly easy. This last one, with these 2, we might do later. Might go to this one, and leave these 2 to the last. So the second tier would have to come across like this, up to there. Bunch of stands. And then we'd have to have a stand there. Next one we'd have to bring down to this level. So probably something like that, and then a single one there. We'll bring the top one down here. Back onto itself, and then we repeat what we did before. Your belt can come out like that. You would have to go down to this tier, so we might as well do it here. That connects up, and then your line would then go into the 4. So we're halfway there at the moment, and then repeating this is going to be very easy. Smaller tier, all the way to the edge. And we want a couple of... Well, we don't need to cover these. Nothing else is going to come down here. We will need a cover to stop you, because I'm going to have more belts on. Okay, in this space down here, let's put level surface. One, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So we could come in from this side now with this. If that's the case, like that, only has to go up to that spot, and then we could bring down the top here. I think that's the height. And then we're just going to connect these up. Okay, that goes in there, perfect. And then we just have these 4 at the end to deal with now. Take you away just for the moment. And the last 2 is probably going to be easier bringing them both on this side. I think I'm missing a belt. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you're missing a belt, so you should be out to there. You're already out to that point, and you're out to that point. That's fine. And then we'll need you on there. really hoping I've got this at the right height. Otherwise, it's going to be a bit of a nightmare. Let's put the belt all the way across. And we've got 2 tiers left to do. Which is going to be these 2 and them 2. Probably the bottom one's the next best one to do. And yeah, I do think coming from this side, he's going to be better with the last. So we'll bring you down on the inside. Couple of stands above it. Get you plugged in. And then we'll get you coming up here all the way up to the top. Needs to be taken from the bottom belt and dropped up onto the top here. And then one last tier to do. Get up here just so I can get the stands in. And then coming up onto that point. Put the belts in ready. Definitely think I've made this so hard on myself. So we just need to connect 2 lines up onto that. Put a larger stand there. And we might as well just put the stands up in the middle here. That gives me a nice platform to get up there. And you can come down on this side so it's easy. Yeah, that should work. Get up. Stand on the edge of the oven. Won't burn your feet much. Okay, so platform comes up to there. And then we'll lift it at this point. Plug it onto the top. And then we've got one last lift to do. Drop it onto the bottom. Just go for a small, then a big. Then that should get me where I need to go. So 2 here, 4. I think I've got it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at the top. Put you, please go blue. See a lot of blue. About the best we can do. And then we just got to deal with the output, which is easy compared to the other side. Yeah, we'll have to have a belt some way. How is the belt going to be coming? Most likely from... You're coming from the belt, so yeah, it's most likely coming from this side. And then we've got to get the 6 belts down. Just get rid of that and use the bigger stands. I think this is going to work. Got a little bit of space around here to play with as well for the belting. So bottom one is going to be 3 15s. Ah. Did forget the grinders. We don't need to use the big grinders, we just use the small ones. And now we just got to get 6 lines onto the floor. to go into the clay. So would it be good to plug this in now? Just going to be buying basic logs. If I can plug this in now and get it all ready. Okay, I've set up all the portals. So all we've got to do is plonk this on the back. Just to take the money, and then we'll have a money belt or a fuel belt down this side. And then we just got to thread out. So let's get the fuel line in. And join this to this belt. Now I do want to leave at least a 2 space, a 3 space most likely, just so I can get down there and fix anything that's broke. Now in theory, I should leave that out as my one I can copy off and then just put this in. So get some wood, get some nails, get some stone. Just while I'm downstairs, I'm just going to check on the quests. So we've got a bulk order there for watches, black powder. Okay, we haven't unlocked black powder. So they shouldn't really be giving us on quests. So that's a bit naughty of the game. And same with the unstable catalysts. So it looks like when you go up a tier, everything in the previous tier is then free game for them to put on quests. So unfortunately, I can't do either one of them quests. Okay, let's go and plug this in. B, restore. And let me just make sure I've got it right. So yeah, you're plugging into the back. And then I'm going to have to fix that wire. I just need to go back until it says it's overlapping and then come back one out. That should be enough room so I can come down here and connect that powder up. And if there's any money on the belt, it should then plug into these. Ah, these... No, it doesn't. Because I didn't put the inputs on the back. Start again. Yeah, I've got no way of feeding the money in at the moment. Yeah, there is a good amount of money coming down here now. And perfect. Look at all them. Now I've changed the money down. The single stacks of the coins are really helping out with these cheaper builds. It's cheaper, but a massive immense amount of items. So yeah, we just need to do the inputs on the back. If I want you to plug on the belt easy, so let's get this done first. So we just want it to come in at one point here. We do it here. Ah, no, because of that. That's got to connect onto the second. So yeah, we're just going to have like that. It's just this point down when I connect to the belt, so I'm going to have to just jerry-rig that one. And then this gets taken up to this tier. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just trying to see if I can get like a beam across there or something. Just trying to see if I can get a way of doing this so it looks half decent. Could just go with a big stack on either side. So that would be a beam, and that would be a beam, I think. Rotate it round. Put a beam there. Put a beam there. Less stands on the back. You go into there. That brings the money up to there. And then we just do repeat. Yeah, I can live with that. And then I've got to go up 4 tiers doing this. So again, we'll just go... No. taller stand. Give it 3 spaces. And then give it 1, 2, 3, 4. Has to be a small one. And that's the next one, and then we just got 1 tier left to do. Looks a bit tidier than what I normally do. And let's go back on itself. We are going to be needing ladders for the last part. Let's get the taller stand. And another day ends. Okay, we've had another good day in the shop. Growth potions, we nearly sold 100 in the shop on this day. Do want to check out the Malachite's doing these days, because that's the one we're struggling to keep up with enough. And I think the money issues is why we're not selling as many relics. But the rest of the products all look good because my rating's up close to 100. So 772,000 we earned and 443 we spent out. We're still making a good amount of money. That's going to allow my belts to fill up. So that's nice to see. So yeah, we want the 3 and then we want the 5 at the end. And let's rotate you around so you can go into everything. Perfect. So now we have all the money fed in there. This one just has to be connected onto the line when we put the build in. And then we need to check this side to make sure this joins on the line. Technically, I don't need that one there because it starts from here. But overall, that's actually quite a narrow build. I've still got to do the outputs down here. But yeah, let's get a copy of this. Should have enough items. We'll put it back in exactly that same position. But I do want to fill up as many logs as I can before I connect anything. There's a good amount of money on the belt there, I can see from here. Cancel. Okay, so something's overlapping. So let's give my inventory a sort, grab as many logs as we can. And let's load up as many machines as I can. Just so it doesn't spend all the money buying logs, which I've got sitting in a box. And we managed to catch it in time. So we want to catch you. I'll start feeding this machine now. And I just want to see all this working before I start doing the output. So we can definitely see lines moving. I think it's waiting for fuel in the furnaces. Now the question is can this keep up? I think it should be able to. We got 3 lit up. Fuel's going up. Not certain why these are not working. Maybe some of them haven't got the logs yet. 15 a minute. 15 a minute. Furnaces seem to be doing a good job at keeping up. So I think everything has stopped until I can get... So then the question is everything got... Second tier hasn't connected for some reason. Third tier hasn't. Fourth tier hasn't. The top 2 has and the bottom. Is it just as simple as they haven't got logs yet? So let's buy a log for anything that hasn't got a log in. Can't do anything about the middle. I know I'd already filled up this side. So yeah, third tier is actually working. Probably one of the middle machines that's going to be. But we could just tiptoe around the outside. Purchase a log, purchase a log. Purchase a log. Can't get the bottom one though. Okay, fourth one's coming down because I can see planks going in now. Just needed to make sure my belting was correct. See if I can crouch and see. Not seeing anything coming this one yet. Yeah, planks are coming in now. Perfect. So I think I am safe now to get my outputs out. Now I did talk about putting them in this space, but I did a more combined version than I was ever planning to do. The next one we'll plug into here. Let's come out to crouch. Next one we'll plug into here, give it a 3 space gap. But I want to do the outputs before we do that. So, how are we going to do the outputs is the question. Would be nice to have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines on the bottom. Going up to the different tiers. Definitely go out one more here just to bring out... Either way, I've got to come out one more. No matter how I look at it. So let's rotate this round, bring you up to the edge there. I still think I could get a 1 to 6 done. And then just have the 6 little outputs at the bottom down here. You come out the front, you would go up 1 tier extra. Because I could easily split this half left, half right just to join up with the... But I think that would look nice, having the 6 belts out like this. And this was probably an easier way to do the other side as well. But no, that's fine. Get you out onto the bottom and go 1 tier higher. Get you out to the machine and into that. So we've got our 3 lines there. Then we'll have to climb up in a minute to do the rest. So 1 more tier above. Definitely happy about that. And we could have an old batch of machines here for the clay stuff. Slowly bringing the stuff from the corner. And we've got some little stairs here. So we want another tier coming across. We need you to come from the edge to there. And we need the outside to come in like that. Definitely well pleased with this one. Do think I made a pig's ear to try and get that done the way I did. But it didn't help that things was on different tiers. So farthest one into you, and this one into you. And then one tier left to go. And I did say a couple episodes ago this would take a few episodes to supersize this up. Especially being as I like to show my building and my thought process. And then this one here all goes into that side there. And there is a nice, easy 6 tiers coming off the back. And then all I've got to do is copy and plug it onto here. So we've currently got up to this tier here. So if I copy, say, from here. Yep, let's copy that. Just need to grab a little bit of rope. And even all this spending on the rope we're doing at the moment, the box downstairs is still full up to the brim. Okay, and then we just got to plug you onto which way? That's the outside, so it's like that. And I can see everything's blue. Make sure everything plugged in the right spaces. Seems to be. And then I can cut you and put you onto the line, leave 3 spaces. And then we've got to deal with clay part in the next part. And this time I'm cutting this because I don't need any more than the 12 lines I've created for myself. So that is overlapping. So come forward 1. Connect this belt up. I think there was an issue I had to connect up the money belt, didn't I? Yeah, the money belt's not connected up right. And that could be some of the reasons why some of the wood wasn't getting brought. Yeah, this is supposed to connect up to that. Money's going in now. I did forget I had to do that part. At least it explains why the build wasn't working as it should. And then we'll have to do the same over here as well. Let's move this wall out. We'll put the walls back in later. I think it's that one there. Now, if I look at the last one here, we should see going up in money. Yeah, that's fine. That's connected up. And then it's going to take a while for it to feed all the way up. Hence why I cut it down to the 1 stack of silver on this floor just for the moment. Perfect. So I'm not seeing anything here, but we should have fuel in there. It's just going to take a while for all the wood to be brought. So just for now, let's do that just so I can see what I'm playing with. So some of it is being brought and some of it's coming out, so that's great. But I do like that. And then where would we go next? So we've got this, it has to be the clay. We just need to make the clay stuff. And like I said, I am willing to, because we've got so far to travel. Realistically, we've got about 2.5 tiles we could go up to here. So we should really have all the clay machines across here. Even if it means bringing this over. Some of it's going to have to get belted from the far side. So where's the middle? 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the middle point. Is it the assembler? I think it's that one, yeah. So I think that's about the centre. And we want to be making clay. So the charcoal would have to be split into 2 machines. But the sand doesn't. That's 1 line per machine. So I think we said it was going to be 4 machines. Yeah, 4 machines for every line, and then we needed 6 lines. So that's not too bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 2 lines we can get into there. We needed 6 lines. So all I've got to do is copy this down to here. Whether I need to move this forward is another question. We can deal with that later. And then we'll have the ones on this side coming out the other side of the machine. Can't believe I'm out of small gears already. I've just picked up a batch. Something I don't use much of these days, to be honest, small gears. One point I used a lot. That's a lot of machines. It's a shame I couldn't just say, bring all these lines over. Now, bringing you to the far side, we'd have to bring you up to about here to be able to catapult you. But we do need to do the outputs on this side into 6. So the first 4 machines have to go like that. I think having you on the other side would have been better. Try and make it in the same spot. Ah, okay, so it's the way I've got the machines. So output, yeah, I think I need to change all these machines. And then we can just copy this. Okay, so that's my 6 final belts coming out, but we need to get the grinded up. So we just have to get everything into here. And I'm pretty certain this could shoot into this. Let's give it a test. If I put, say, the first 4 there. I'm out of steel again now. I have to be careful because I'm not storing steel. I've just got 1 box at the back here, which is now gone. Gonna have to start storing steel again before I can do any more building by the looks of it. Okay, we have an urgent request I didn't catch. 60 malachite. I don't know if I'm going to have the quantities to do that. The one I do struggle on malachite at the moment. I'm not making it fast enough. And as you see, the belt is totally empty. So there's no way I'm going to get that malachite. It's just because I starved the money to go upstairs. How are these boxes doing here with the mushrooms? Still got a lot of space up on there, so the mushrooms should be pretty good. Should be flowing pretty well. Advanced fertilizers. We're not backing up on the belt yet. So everything we are sending onto the belt is being used down here at some point. But yeah, the belt is looking very empty down on this side. One of the reasons why I need to replace and get the growth potions in instead. So yeah, I'm not going to be able to do that malachite quest as much as I want to. Just have a check on my relics. So yeah, we've got another Mars. And the next one is already 93%. That's fantastic. Just need a couple of more steel. Just want to get one cannon just to see if it's going to work as a concept. But we have got to wait for all that steel to back up. So let's just try and see. Can I get a cannon onto there? Can that reach here? It can. Fantastic. So all I would have to do is bring in the charcoal down the back. Or bring the charcoal up. Well, the charcoal has to get split into two. So what could actually be a good idea is having a belt into both two. And move you across like that. Because then one line of charcoal can come in and split into two. Because this only needs 30 charcoal. And then we'll leave the two in the middle so it's easy to divert. Because I can just easily go like that. So let's get the first line up. Which is going to be probably the easiest, is the closest. Do need to make sure I'm not going too far out. Maybe up to 3. Need to make sure I'm leaving a little bit of space there just in case I want a cannon on them. Okay, let's cut it there. Need to go out one more. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep joining when I'm trying to connect them up there. So let's delete the belt. And then I have to come from this point here. I still think I have enough room to be able to do the sand onto a cannon on every one of those things. Going to be a lot of things being thrown up here. If I'm going to be throwing 60 things a minute out of 24 different machines. Okay, another diamond sold, so that's nice to see. And yet 20 malachite sold and we had nothing in the box, so that means we're making about 20 malachite a day. Not great numbers, that needs to definitely increase. Not many contracts going out in value, but we're still making 890,000 and 515,000 we're spending out. So we're making some good money. Let's get this one machine connected up at least before I call it an episode. You get plugged into there. And then eventually we'll have to bring up a couple of tiers. So we've got our first set of clay being done. I do need more machines, but I need more steel. So hopefully that box sort of stocks up in between episodes. And we should see our first batch of clay being done soon. The cannons will run at 90, I think it is. Probably want to do the customer quest, I think. Just because I want to get up to the second daily quest. That's going to really help us out. That's one more point I need. But yeah, first sets of clay coming out, and then we'll work out how we're going to get them ground once I've got all the other lines threaded in. The next line coming up to here is quite easy. Then I'll have to go up to a second tier, a third tier. Until we can get about 2.5 tiles away up to here. And then I think I can cannon the rest in then. But yeah, definitely going to call it there on this one. Sorry that this build's taking so long, but it is a very, very big build. These builds can take 5-6 hours to do. And there's a lot of resources been put in, so as you can imagine, I do have to keep waiting for the resources. It probably is getting up to the point where I probably need to have a big box on each of these So currently I've only got a small box there, putting one of the large boxes up here for everything across here, just so if I do need anything, I do have a good amount of resources stacked up in the background. But that's something I'll deal with in the next episode. But hopefully you're still enjoying the series, and thank you very much everybody for watching. I'll see you all again soon.